For some more perspective about this day, we're joined by two students who participated in the walkout. They were also part of a team from more than a dozen of our student reporting labs that reported on the day across the country for the NewsHour. Both of them are from John F. Kennedy High School in Silver Spring, Maryland, part of the Montgomery County school system. Kaylee Kern is a sophomore there, and Jayla Ross is a junior. And we welcome both of you to the NewsHour. Jayla, let me start with you. Why did you want to be part of this today?
So I was there in support of the victims of the Florida shooting, and also in support of victims of other mass shootings. And I would also just, I was there to push for stricter gun laws.
And what about you, Kaylee? I mean, what would you say was the reason you came?
I came to, see it for myself, because students becoming active is not something that happens all the time. But in addition to that, I wanted to support the victims of mass shootings, especially the students at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. And I also wanted to, help apply pressure to our politicians to tell them, hey, this is something that really matters to me and to all these other people, and we would like you to do something about it.
Jayla, you mentioned gun laws. If you could talk to the politicians directly, what would you say to them that you want?
I would say to ban assault rifles. I feel like there's no reason that we need that in like an everyday life type of situation. And I think that, we would be a lot safer if we did something about that. And also pushing for, background checks and things like that. It's really little things that can, help us in the long run. And so I think that that's definitely a start.
Haley, what about you in terms of changing gun laws or other laws? What would you like to see?
Universal background checks to find out exactly who's buying these guns and what their background is. Also to ban bump stocks, which can be used to automate semi-automatic weapons. And just overall banning automatic weapons, because military-style rifles in general are not really needed in civilian life, and there's no need for them.
Jayla, did you? Some people are remarking that it's really something that the younger generation has to be the one to carry this message. How do you feel about that? Do you feel? We heard someone in the report just now say they feel the older generation has failed them. Is that how you feel?
In some ways, yes. I feel like nowadays you see the voice of the youth very powerful and very strong, and I think that it is us that are really getting things done nowadays. I mean, you see us, our marches, and we, spread word through social media, and I feel like nowadays it's really, people have to count on the youth to take care of things, and so yeah, I feel like in some ways, yes, they have.
Kaylee, others have pointed out that it's well and good to have these marches, to have these walkouts, but unless things change at the ballot box, laws won't change. How committed do you think you and some of your friends are to see this through?
For me personally, I am very excited to turn 18 to be able to vote and to be able to express my opinions at the ballot box. And I know that I'm not the only one. A lot of my peers who showed up today are very energized because they realize a lot of these politicians aren't representing their views, and so they really want to personally make sure that there are new politicians who will.
How much of this do you think, Jayla, is fear that a shooting, God forbid, could happen someplace near you in Montgomery County, even at your school?
That is a huge part of it, I feel. I feel like no one wants to have to go through something like that, something as traumatic as that, and have to, hide under desks and things like that. And I feel like fear does play a big role. It's a motivation, really, for us to get things done. And I think that, it's horrible what's happening. And so I do think that fear does play a huge role in.
And Kaylee, what do you want people to know who are looking at all of you, who are saying, well, they took time off from school, was it really worth it? What would you say?
Doing this, staying on campus or something, that's not going to get attention. It's not going to help us put pressure on politicians, but getting the attention of both the media and of adults in general really helps us apply pressure to them and get our message out better.
Well, we thank both of you for coming in to talk to us today. Thank you, Kaylee Kern and Jayla Ross. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.